Hello, friends, and welcome to today's DLLS Cowboys podcast, where we are hunting a feature back for your Dallas Cowboys. Where is Brian Schottenheimer? All sorts of pro days going on right now. Fran Duffy joins us to talk NFL draft, and we've got a double mock draft. We are having a party, and the show starts meow. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's DLLS Cowboys podcast, where we demand you hit the like button or else, which is not a threat because it's good for our algorithm. So welcome, everybody, and thank you to those of you who have commented before the show even started. You are MVPs. We love you. We have a lot of things to get to. Brian Schottenheimer's on the road, Cowboys head coach, checking out a bunch of these pro days to get ready for the draft. What does it mean? Who's he looking at? We got those things. And what are we looking for with the running back for the Dallas Cowboys? That's going to be our topic off the top. Hello, my name is Jeff. Next.
That's pretty good.
But Captain Thunder got a whole character going, and I love that the chat has interaction with it. Next to me is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Next to Jesse is the today's greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe!
Quick shout out to the actual greatest beat writer. We were watching First Take this morning, and you see Clarence Hill of all DLLS, his quote on there. So shout out, become a diehard, where you could have got that information before.
What if that gets played on First Take?
It should. Honestly, it should. Matter of fact, billboards at the Grammys.
Yeah, I saw an article on NFL.com this morning and I was like, oh crap, Parsons said something else. And I clicked the link and it was quoting Clarence from an article that was like, I don't know, however many days old. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm like, I don't know why that's on there today. And it turns out, I guess it's because the First Take discovered it today too. Shout out to Clarence.
They listening. They watching. As much as y'all said, yes, someone did pay. Even though David Malugetta don't want to pay for a subscription. But that's okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the shout out.
There's $1 billion that doesn't want to pay.
We could get him in here. I think we could get him a nice
if he comes
deal.
to do it, if you do an interview with us, David, if you're watching this, David Malugetta, if you come on our show, we'll give you the passcode.
David is sneakily Captain Thunder.
Oh, what if? Who is Captain Thunder? I want
Thunder?
Your guesses in the chat.
Dove
is that
Kleiman.
Stephen Jones taking shots at Dak every day? Who is that?
That Tony Romo.
Is it Tony?
It's Dove Kleiman.
Tony Romo.
Is it that random aggregated Twitter account?
I think so.
Who could ever know? What running back do you want to carry the ball for the Cowboys this year? That is our first discussion because Joe did a feature on alldlls.com on a man that is an SMU running back currently that's going to be drafted coming up here in about a month, give or take. And the general question is, do you have to find a horse? Do we need 2016 all over again? Do we need our Zeke again? Or can we play the game of, yeah, that guy's going to carry it 14 times, that guy will carry it 8 times and catch 4 balls. Like, can we piecemeal this thing together, or are we looking for a horse?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and it better be interesting.
It better be.
Because I think that you have both options in this draft. I think you could have a decent amount of guys that could be that feature back, that that horse. Brian Schottenheimer's at Ohio State today, and I think TreVeyon Henderson.
They got 2 horses.
They got 2 horses. They got both of them, 2 horsepower.
Like that. You do the neighing, and I'll handle the galloping.
That's right. Perfect.
Yep.
We're good?
Jesse, do you have a horse sound you'd like to contribute to the show?
I don't. Just a cowboy. That's it. That's all I got.
But also, while there's plenty of... Whoa!
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's your hat?
Whoa! Where's the cowboy hat? That's good.
Yeah.
My hat's over
Over
there.
there.
My hat's over there.
So you could get a feature back, early on in this draft, but you could also get someone that can kind of pair with what you already have, and Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. And We don't know how much they have in the tank. We'll obviously find that out in training camp. But I guess there is a question. If the Cowboys are confident in those two, can they afford to kind of get someone who's more of a complementary piece like Brashard Smith, a guy who started out as a wide receiver, moved to running back at SMU, and then he thrived there. He had 1,300 yards rushing last year, 14 touchdowns. He was able to show his receiving skills out of the backfield, even deep out of the backfield. You worry about pass protection a little bit with a guy like that, but you worry about pass protection with a lot of guys in this draft. So I think it's a good question of, do you want to get that little compliment, that lightning piece, to go with a couple other guys that you might have confidence in? We'll see, TBD, but there's options.
I'm torn. And I'm torn because
we're here for you. We help you through this.
You look at the success of a team like Philadelphia. They went and got a workhorse, right? They went and got a guy who is an every down back, doesn't need to be subbed out, can go from pass protection to running, home run hitter, all of the above. And you think, man, we got to get one of those guys. And then you look and you go, well, there's a guy like Bucky Irvin who's, a later round pick and had success and wasn't the workhorse, but still had a ton of success.
Quack, quack.
You look at the running backs in Detroit. There was a two-headed monster there. You look at a running back like Warren in Philadelphia, who wasn't the feature back initially.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. What did I say?
Philadelphia.
I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. And you look at a back like that and you go, man, still successful, not necessarily a workhorse. And I'm tending to lean towards systems are becoming the thing. It used to be like we need the player to do what he does, and good players also matter. But more so now, you're starting to see offensive coordinators apply systems that kind of take away from players necessarily having to have this overarching amount of skills. And if you can put together the right system, the right running scheme to feature that back, then now it's less of a needing the Saquon Barkleys or the Derrick Henrys of the world, that we're able to do some other things with other backs because of the system that we run. So that's where I'm kind of torn at, because both are very interesting. Yeah, you would like to have a Derrick Henry. We didn't make the phone call. You would like to have a Saquon Barkley, right? And all that he brings, but you say, they did also have a really good offensive line, And you can look, like I said, you can look at other places like Pittsburgh, like in New York when they finally let what's my guy's name? Was it Tracy?
Tyrone Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy. Like I said, Bucky Irvin. There's some other guys. You can have James Conner that was in Arizona that had some productive running games that necessarily didn't have all the top features that you look at those other backs. So I guess, yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn between what the league is becoming and what also is still successful in this league.
Even Derrick Henry is interesting.
It better be interesting. He better be interesting.
Because I would take Derrick Henry on my team in a heartbeat. But it is wild to me that they could go first down, and if it's an incompletion or they lose a yard, he's off the field immediately. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, we're not running anymore. It's passing time, and here comes what's Squirtback's name?
From the Ravens?
Yeah, they bring in
not Keaton Mitchell,
is it an Oklahoma State guy? Justice Hill.
Oh, Justice Hill.
It's immediately like, second 11, Justice Hill.
Yeah.
I sure would like everybody to be at least competent at doing everything, but you can't always have that. And I do think that it's just a matter of how high of a pick and how do things fall for what are you looking for? Because if you have access to Ashton Jeanty, the other running back can play when he needs an oxygen tank.
For sure.
That's when the other back can play. But if it is somebody like Brashard Smith at SMU and you don't get it back early, I think he could absolutely be somebody's lightning. And somebody said in the chat, another guy, my guy, Jadon Blue, who ran a 4.25 at Texas Pro Day yesterday, Brashard Smith vein.
Yeah.
Somebody else can carry it 12 to 15 times. He can carry it 8 to 10, and I'm going to throw it to him 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you're cooking that way. And I think you could do it either way. If I can get Ashton Jeanty, I want him. If I can't, that's okay. I can find others. And I'll tell you what, you could still find 2 guys to piece it together that neither one's on the roster yet. And I think that might work because I don't know what Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders has left.
And they've told us a little bit about what they at least are expecting, or at least, caveating against based on their guaranteed money for both of them. Not a lot for both of them, which means it's not a guarantee that Miles Sanders makes a team, especially Miles Sanders. Javonte, I think, has more of a chance with $1 million guaranteed fully. But, to your point, they could draft 2, which they could, you get your Brashard Smith maybe in round 4, and shoot, round 6, maybe Damian Martinez from Miami, a big, powerful back is still there, or an Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State, a guy from Euless Trinity here in Dallas. Maybe that's a guy that, had a lot of high stocks, slipped this past year. That's someone that could be your thunder and lightning right there, and then Javonte's just kind of a mentor / pass protector.
I do think there's a lot of guys that are the kind of, if it doesn't fall your way where you get a running back that you want, because like Cowboys dream scenario, right? Ashton Jeanty is who you want in the first round. If he's not available, I know people are mocking Omarion Hampton at 12. No. Then you wait to 44, and if the right guy makes it to 44, and I think that could be Omarion Hampton, that could be TreVeyon Henderson at Ohio State, that could be
Quinshon Judkins.
Could be Quinshon Judkins at Ohio State. It could be Caleb Johnson at Iowa, like the guys that qualify as like workhorse status. And if those guys don't make it to 44 and you end up waiting again, there's so many ways to do it at running back as long as it's not the way they did it last year.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't want you to do is the way they did it last year, which is intentionally getting a guy that can't play. And I'd like to apologize to Ezekiel Elliott and his family for all of the times that I talk about him. It's not about him. It's about the Cowboys.
It's not
they
personal.
went back to their buddy.
It's not personal.
Right. Running back is not a position with the number of bodies that are capable of doing that job. It's not okay to have one that can't do that job at an NFL level. And that's on the Cowboys, not him.
Right.
Yeah.
He was wonderful for a good stretch of time, and now it's over, and it's been over for a year or 2, maybe 3. That's the only thing you can't do is show up and be like, oh, it turns out we don't have guys that can do this at an NFL level. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can find your hammer in the 5th round. You can find, I guess hammer and nail, I think, are both, like, it doesn't work. It needs to be thunder and lightning. You can find your thunder in the 5th round. You might could find your lightning in the 5th round if Brashard Smith is available in the 5th. I don't know. It just depends how things fall. But that job is doable. Just don't have half of your platoon be a guy that can't play NFL football. That's not okay. That's all I care about. Yeah. And we can do it however we got to do it to just not have a guy who can't play.
I don't believe this, but is there any belief in any one of you that maybe the Lightning will be picked up this year by Deuce?
I personally don't think so. Because I don't think Deuce is so interesting to me because he's not much of a lightning guy at the NFL level. Like in terms of he's not going to be your guy that has 15, 10 plus yard runs if you gave him a whole season to be your starting running back, right? He's still just kind of a shifty, kind of find the hole inside, make plays and make plays out of the backfield with catching. I don't see him as a lightning guy truly. So that's why it's hard for me to place him, depending on what they do in the draft, on the roster again. I was a little surprised he did make it. Remember, he had a late run in preseason. They kind of opened eyes. It was a tough call, and then they kind of didn't use him again. It's hard to find packages for Deuce, and I think that's the hardest problem with him.
To Fern's point in the chat, this is one of the things that I do worry about. They already did the same thing. Javonte and Sanders both 3.7 yards a carry. Javonte's slowest max speed through the hole of all backs with more than 100 carries. I do worry that the guys that they signed are different versions of Zeke. The ages are different. They don't have the mileage or the age, but Javonte Williams hasn't been the same since knee injury 2 years ago. Miles Sanders appears to be washed. They just filled roster spots with names you've heard. And I worry that neither one of those guys is going to play football at an NFL level. Javonte Williams, I think I have a little bit more hope for. But I know he's still young, and in theory, you should be able to get back to what you were, but he hasn't. He's played a year, almost 2 years of NFL football since a torn ACL. And he had other stuff in there, too. It was an ACL and something.
Yeah.
And has not shown the guy he was as a rookie. And to just be like, oh, but he's about to, like, that seems very Cowboy to me. Like, oh, he's about to, though, because he's ours. And it's just like, okay, you might need 2 guys. One guy.
My only working theory with Javonte in terms of potential hope is that if you go look at what he did under the previous offensive coordinator before Sean Payton came in, that offense looks a little more Schottenheimer than what Sean Payton did. And I think that maybe potentially something to go straight forward and downhill is something that fits him a little bit better. But
I like this. I'm in search of optimism.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
tell me there could be something schematically to help him get back on track.
It's just
it's
a reach.
We'll hit your super chats in just a second. We love you guys. We're coming for them. It's coming. But coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast is segment 2. Where did I put it? Oh, around the oblong ball. Oblong ball.
Long Johnson.
Things going on in the Football League of National involving your Cowboys or not. All of those things are next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Opening day of the baseball season is upon us. Just 24 hours from now.
That's right.
Opening
Baseball
day tomorrow.
will be
Evan
here.
Carter didn't make the roster?
No.
Didn't make the roster.
But Kumar and Jack did.
That's right. Vandy boys.
The college basketball tournament is currently happening
That's right.
as well. This is a
Very
great
true.
time to get out the house and get to some of these events. And you may say, Jesse, I like listening to y'all, but I don't really like going to games, plays, concerts,
Emo night.
comedy shows,
Emo night.
Emo
night.
night. All of these things, you can find tickets at gametime.com. Here's what you have to do. You got to download the app. And then once you download the app, use the promo code DLLS and you will get $20 off your first purchase. Bring a friend, bring a group, get out of the house, be social, go see some of these things outside of in the streets. You don't have to stay in the house. Use the Game Time app, go to these games, enjoy yourself. What time is it?
Game time.
Oh. Once you get out of the house for that, though, go back home. You know? Get out of the house for that. Go back home
Eat at home.
to eat a good meal.
That's right.
You don't
We
want to be eating on the road.
we
You don't
got
want to get
McDonald's
all-
at home.
You don't want to get sloppy and gross. You want to eat good food at the house. You want it to be convenient. It's right there on the doorstep for you. Easy to make, easy to prepare. HelloFresh. That is our homies. The promo code that you need is Cowboys10FM. Cowboys10FM. You'll know that because it's Cowboys10 FM as in free meals. And you can see that code also in our show notes on YouTube. HelloFresh, what they do is you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip trips to the grocery store. Count on HelloFresh to make your home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's what makes it America's #1 meal kit. I hate the grocery store. I love having the things just show up and be easy to prepare. That's what you get with our friends at HelloFresh. Up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/Cowboys10FM. All right, around the oblong ball. And we're also going to get you up to date at some point in today's broadcast on what Brian Schottenheimer's up to. I can just tell you that today he is at Ohio State University, the Ohio State University. And there are multiple prospects at Ohio State that could be your first-round pick.
They won a national championship, right?
They
but,
won a natty.
But they didn't win a Big Ten title. That's all I'm going to say.
You know who he's checking out.
Buka.
Just saying.
Josh Simmons, left tackle.
Josh
Just
Simmons.
saying.
I'm missing TreVeyon Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, the running backs.
You know what I love for this? Lathan Ransom.
Lathan Ransom is
Love
a fun
me some
safety.
Lathan
If
Ransom.
if your description of safety is, hey,
Yep.
seek and destroy. Lathan Ransom's like on every play, he's like, who can I break?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you got to cover the slot guy. He's like, I can't do that, but I will snap someone in half.
I love it.
I'm missing somebody that's way up there for Ohio State. We'll get around to it. Whatever. Shotty's at Ohio State today. Texas Pro Day was yesterday. We got stuff to talk about from that too, maybe. But Russell Wilson signed with the Giants, and I don't like it.
You don't like it? Oh, I know why you don't.
I don't like it for me. I don't like it for you. I don't like it for any Giants fan. You were about to have a fun season. Now it's going to be boring. They signed Jameis.
No, I know, but why are you assuming that he's going to start over Jameis? That's my question.
Oh.
That's my question.
How much money did Jameis get?
Not as much as Russell. They're going to start
Oh,
him.
that's
But I
okay.
still,
All right, well.
I'm pushing an agenda now.
Because I don't know. And this can be relevant to the Cowboys because the Giants have, what are they, number 3? 2, 3?
Three.
And that's a spot that a lot of people are having Shedeur Sanders. And I wonder, and I think that if you've signed 2 veteran quarterbacks, I don't think they're drafting a quarterback.
And they signed back Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, and they got Tommy DeVito
So,
back.
like, if you brought in one vet, Tommy DeVito doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying. They did give him a little bit of money.
But
They
shout out to Pizza.
They tendered them.
I love the way that the NFL played it. I love how the one thing we're all still allowed to be super racist about is Italians. Like, as soon as Tommy DeVito's announced, everybody on TV is like, hey, Tommy DeVito.
gabagool.
And it's just like, oh, that was cute. But then he played it up, and his agent definitely. Boy, that man is super stereotype Italian.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had just had Jameis, then I would think, oh, okay, you could bring in
Sure.
a number 3 overall pick to be behind Jameis. But once you brought in 2, I'm like, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback.
Can you trade Jameis?
Right after signing him? Whoever you trade him to should have just signed him.
I mean,
I'll trade for Jameis right now. I'll trade you Mingo.
I feel like there you go. I feel like the most likely scenario playing out though is that yes, Cam Ward goes to Tennessee at 1, and then Shedeur actually goes 2 to Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know.
So
if he
maybe
gets,
they were looking at it as we don't want to trade up for a quarterback, and we don't think we're going to get one.
Yeah, and
So then Travis Hunter to New York?
Or Abdul Carter.
I could see Abdul Carter in New England.
So you have Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Thibodeau?
Yeah.
In New York. Excuse me.
Let Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, let 2 quarterbacks go. Let Mason Graham go ahead of one of them. Let one of them go. Let one of them get to 5 and watch me start being like, hey, Cowboys, hop on the telephone. If you could get Hunter or Carter to 5, I'd start working the telephone.
But the only thing is they'd have to call the Cowboys because remember Jerry doesn't.
That's
make
true. Jerry
calls.
don't have a phone.
You know, he don't make calls.
Jerry's phone doesn't have
People call
buttons
him.
on it. It's just straight
pick up.
answer.
Answer.
It only answers.
Pick up.
It don't make calls. Other things in the Oblong Football Association.
Wait. No, let's not.
wait,
Let's not just slide past this.
Okay.
What does this matter in the context of the NFC East?
None.
None.
No, none. The Giants don't matter yet. They're a year away from mattering.
Doesn't matter. Dak was already the 4th best quarterback in the division according to Captain Thunder.
That's true. And now he's 5th.
Now
I don't
right
know.
on cue, by the way.
Maybe 6th.
I don't know. I think anytime you have a competent quarterback, it makes you better. They're better at quarterback than they were a year ago.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, they're better. Yes, with 2 different guys, they're better. Yeah. I also think they might be setting themselves up for a Russell and Field situation in Pittsburgh last year,
100%.
where Russ plays 3 games and they're like, that's pretty average. You want to try Jameis? And then he plays and they're like, I mean, the 3 touchdowns were great. The 3 picks and one of them being run back wasn't great. Let's try Russ again. God will deliver, my guy from Pick 6.
How do you think Joe Shane and Brian Dable just feel? And I know Joe Shane's the one making these decisions, but like, you think that they're like, yeah, we just signed Russ and Jameis. Woohoo.
No,
our jobs are saved.
I know.
No.
I think especially Joe. I think he's looking at it like I need to get something in here, and that's why this move may be a little bit deeper because he's trying to save his job. This is it for Joe. Like this is it. You don't get it done. You don't get
And
it
people
done.
are going to hold Saquon against him. Like, you
Yeah.
can't believe you let that
Yeah.
happen. It's like he wasn't going to do that.
If you have another one of them years where the Giants are not competitive, you're out of there.
But that's the move you make. Why not go trade for Kirk Cousins or something? Like, why don't you do?
I don't think Kirk Cousins is that much greater.
First of all,
Hold on.
we're going to have a 3-way fight here. Don't you dare disrespect Jameis by trying to bring in more people.
Well, fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is Jameis's time.
No, I'm with you on that.
This is Jameis's
That's fair.
time. Giants fans are supposed to get an entertaining product. Instead, they're going to get Giants country. Let's ride. I don't know. What do Giants fans, what do they say? What's their thing?
We're in Jersey. Let's ride.
They give you the finger.
G-men, G-spots.
What?
Oh,
Well, the Giants football players going to the place on the field they're supposed to. Like when you're running a route, if you're a Giant, it's
Get to
hey,
the spot.
get to the G spot.
Get to your spot.
It's
You're
hard to
supposed
find. It's hard to find, but you got to get there.
Take your time. Take your time. Feel your way through.
Oh.
Feel your way through the spot.
Stephon Diggs to the Patriots.
Shocker.
Okay, we're going to keep it 3 years, $69 million.
Nice.
$69 million.
Hey.
Nice.
Matter of fact.
Nice.
This ain't made up. This is the contract.
The numbers.
That's 23 a year. And seeing 3 years, $69 million for Stephon Diggs, I would like to apologize for yesterday's show and suggesting that you could bring in Stephon Diggs. Because when I tell you, I was thinking like 1 year, $6 million.
That's what I was.
One
yeah.
for 8.
You said vet minimum.
I said his vet minimum would probably be about that. Right? About
Yeah.
$4 or $5 million, $6 million.
23 a year for Stephon Diggs, who had, I will say this at least, he was not washed.
No.
Beginning of decline, yes. Still quality starting receiver, yes. But and ACL going into, I think he's about turn 32.
And he's 31, turning 32. Yeah.
Patriots they had a Scrooge McDuck thing happening. They were laying around. They're like, guys, there's a salary cap and we have to spend a certain amount. Where are we going to put it? And they're like, oh, that guy? Like, I guess.
Yeah, and Stephon visited there, and he's just like, hey, guys, like, I'm only coming here if you blow me away with an offer. And so a few days later,
Pause.
they did.
Easy, bro.
Pause. All I said was pause.
So congratulations to Stephon Diggs getting.
That's a very cool.
Oh, we got a Captain Thunder.
Oh, he agrees with us.
Selfish Stephon. Yeah. Let's knock out our super chats that we got. I know we had a few of them. I'm sorry that I hadn't hit them yet. Matthew Hooks, former coworker. A serious team spends money in free agency, then draft BPA. Facts on facts on facts. Aaron, trucker man. Womp womp. Yeehaw Jesse, clean hat.
Thank you.
I've come to the conclusion that we have so many needs no matter what positions we take at whatever rounds. They will help right away. I'm also holding hope for all our injured stars. Diggs, Demo, etc. I like your optimism. I want to live in that world as well.
Be safe, brother.
Captain Thunder is in the super chat. Something, Dak.
Greedy Dak.
Something, Dak. New quarterback. Nesto's in the super chat. The Giants' defense has pieces, which makes me uncomfortable. Subpar QB play can make them a player.
I agree with Nesto.
I got to see the depth chart.
Their defense is good.
Did they fix
good.
the O-line yet?
No, but their defense is good.
They brought some O-linemen in, but I don't know if it's fixed.
I also like Tyrone Tracy. Like, I like Malik
Cat,
Neighbors.
are the Giants good? Okay, 3-14. Let me take a look at all of what the depth chart looks like. Okay, so the D-line's got dudes.
You had Travis Hunter.
The O-line's but the O-line's until you get an O-line, they need an O-line. They need a whole ass O-line. Boy, you put Travis Hunter out there with Malik Neighbors.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what, the Giants are gonna be better than the Cowboys.
Chill out.
Wow.
Chill out.
I'm not ready to go there. Their
Chill
defense
out.
is really good.
I just want to say something shocking. I don't believe that.
Chill out.
Where were
with
we?
you,
Dan? That's a good name, Dan. Should there be any hope beyond blind optimism that Jonathan Mingo will be an asset to this team next year? Jesse, you're the receiver.
Yes, blind hope, my brother. Blind hope. Nothing has shown that he's going to be a good receiver for this team.
No, and that's what it is. And they brought him into an impossible situation last year, too, where it's like, you haven't done anything. Now we're going to give a 4th-round pick for you. Set expectations. You're coming in late. You're coming into a team that you don't know, an offense you don't know. Hey, good luck. I mean,
and the hope is, honestly,
we'll
the hope is, Dan, is that the Cowboys actually address the receiver position in the draft, and so the pressure won't be on Mingo.
for sure.
And so now he can be a 3rd or 4th wide receiver in this offense. And if there is anything that he has, then we take the traits that they looked at as a 2nd rounder and we move them to a player that's a 3rd receiver or a 4th receiver. And hopefully that now has a level of impact where he can go get you 500 yards and maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns. And he's not looked at as being that guy as the 4th round, traded for the 4th round pick and needing to be the number 2. So that's the hope, is that there's someone else in place so that he doesn't have to be the guy.
And the trade, I mean, realistically, there's not much Mingo could do aside from becoming a perennial Pro Bowl star that would justify the deal from its inception. The fact that they gave a 4th-round pick, spur of the moment.
I mean, a 4th-round pick, if he starts.
No, I know,
that's
but
a good trade.
No, but from the very beginning, this was a guy that got beat out by undrafted free agents, was
Right.
benched in Carolina. They gave a 4th-round pick for him. Like, there's still no justifying in the moment the actual deal.
What do you think the odds are that what we're going to hear from the Cowboys is like they're not going to do anything to address the offensive line and they're not going to add a wide receiver, and Jerry's going to tell us something along the lines of, we've got Taylor Geishan, and boy, we sure do like what Mungie does, and he's going to catch the ball and it's going to be good. Like, I could very much see where they don't address either of those things because they're like, we already did. We got it.
That's
and
crazy.
that would not be fun.
Hey, hold on, David. We read every super chat. We've even read Captain Thunder super chats. Captain Thunder does a bit now where it's a bit.
Wait, did I not read it verbatim? I thought I read it verbatim. I thought did I not? Oh.
Yeah.
I got news for you, David. His name is fair. His is balanced. Okay? That's what we bring every day.
Those are also the names of my fists.
Yep, that's right. Night 405. How comfortable do you feel with Starks at corner? Malachi Starks, Georgia? I mean, he can step down and play in the slot. He does that at Georgia some, but I mean, I'm not lining him up at outside corner, but he could play all over the place. Captain Thunder said, Dak, Diggs money too much, space for Cap.
Oh, yes, I like our moves.
Hold on, this one's actually readable.
Yeah.
Let's stop blaming Jerry and Steven. Did you want to overpay Diggs? I like our moves. They have cap space. Watch for trade coming. Thanks, Captain Thunder. See, he's trying to work his way back.
I was
into
going to
our
say,
good
thank you,
graces.
Captain Thunder. That's a
good super trade. What's your net worth, Captain Thunder? What's your net worth? Because you sure got a lot to fire in just to say the same stuff a lot of times.
Tony Romo, I'm telling you, he's all like expendable.
It's Justin Trudeau, actually, the prime or the. That's Captain Thunder.
Coming up next, our buddy Fran Duffy is going to join us. He is our draft expert and analyst for the All-City group, including us, and we'll talk Cowboys draft with Fran. We'll do that next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
I love this weather. It just makes me feel good. And despite allergy season kind of being in the way, getting outside is where you want to be. Whether it's at the lake, at the cookout, wherever it is, you need to be there. And if you're there and they have a Rugged Road cooler, you know the party's about to be lit because the Rugged Road cooler's the best in the business. All right, RuggedRoadOutdoors.com is where you can go and get you one of these coolers. And I got a promo code for you. DLLS is the promo code. You can save 10% off of that cooler. Now, this cooler is great because it's stylish, it's innovative, it floats.
Upright.
Not only does it float, but it floats upright.
Beer
so if you're in the pool, if you're in the ocean, if you're in the lake, that thing ain't tipping over. That thing ain't gonna tip over. It's not a flotation device.
Tipping on fofos.
It ain't tipping on fofos, but it's keeping that soda cold. So head over to RuggedRoadOutdoors.com, use the promo code DLLS, and get 10% off a cooler today.
Like to say hello to our friends at Sleeper. I'm your sleeper for Sleeper. Sleeper's my favorite. I spend about a half hour on that app every day.
Poprovsky?
Because they play sports every day. And I like to have a little interest in a sport that I might not otherwise. And so once you just go pick a player and you say, I think that guy's going to have more points than they think tonight. Bang! I say more than. And I say, I think that guy not going to get the rebounds that are projected less than. Bang, bang, bang. And you combine these picks. The more you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. And they got all the sports on there. All the sports. So put your sports brain to work and make all the money is what I would say. New users, you can download the Sleeper app. Use the code DLLSBOYS. You'll get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Apply that to any contest. Doesn't have to be your first one. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states, including this one. Check out Sleeper today. All right, let's check in with our buddy Fran Duffy, our All-City NFL draft expert, baby. The great Fran Duffy joins us every Wednesday at 11:30, and there he is. Look at him. Fran, is that a long-sleeve tee? What are you wearing?
Sweater?
No, we're going short sleeves today. It's
okay. Sun's out, guns out, baby. Let's go. Let me see the gun. What the guns looking like, Fran? Let me see what the guns are looking like.
We're here to talk about Will Campbell arm length. My arms can stay out of this. All right.
I do appreciate a good measurement that somebody's just trying to help themselves out. Like, oh, look, this guy's hand got bigger from pro day to combine.
I hate it.
So Will Campbell is an offensive lineman that could be a top 10 pick, one of the best offensive linemen, if not the best offensive lineman in this draft class out of LSU, left tackle. And his arm length at the combine was, 32 something? And an NFL team would love for it to be over 33 for a tackle. And at pro day now it is 33. So now he's a tackle again, Fran?
And that's why I didn't go overboard with the measurement from the combine, because look, this is how this goes, guys. Basically in the spring, scouts go into campus and they get measurements on all the upcoming seniors. And then some schools, depending on the school, you're going to get a measurement on the rising juniors that are probably going to declare as well, right? So teams are going to have some kind of measurement there from the previous spring before the draft. Then hopefully you can get something in the fall, or maybe you hear from the weight room staff or whatever it is. Or in the fall, you get another measurement. Then they go to an all-star game, you get another measurement. Then you go to the combine, you get another measurement. Then you go to the pro day, you get another measurement. Then you get to bring them in for a 30 visit or for a local visit, you get another measurement. And only one of those measurements is going to go on the card. And usually it's the biggest one. And there's going to be some variance with all of those. And that goes for arm length, hand size, height, weight, all of that. So you're going to note the fluctuations where they happen. But the big thing is whatever that biggest number is, that's going to be the one that's stuck on the card. And so that's why, that when you get all the different variety there, I have not been going nuts with that. And for all the people that are like, oh, it's 3/8 of an inch too small, he's off the board. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit here when it comes to Will Campbell. And remember too,
he's a growing boy.
A lot of people will point to it and like, oh, it's home cooking at the pro day. It's still scouts doing it at the pro day, right? It's not like Brian Kelly's over there doing the arm measurements here this morning at the pro day.
But Fran, I just to push back a little bit. I just don't understand how something so objective like literal measurements can fluctuate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's baffling most to me is how does Jalen Milrow's hand be so different at combine versus pro day? Is it literally just ineptitude from people measuring it? I think at combine, that should be your most objective source of information, right? Like, I just don't understand. You know what I mean?
Well, it's still scouts like doing the measurements, right? So at the end of the day, there's scouts that are all around the league that are responsible, that are going to be working with NFS, the company that essentially puts on the combine. I think it's like 26 of the teams or 24 of the teams have a representative in each club that works with NFS directly to help put on that event. And so it's still going to be NFL scouts. And it's the same thing that happens at the Senior Bowl, at the Shrine Bowl. And then when you go to the pro days, it's going to be scouts as well that are doing those measurements. Now, look, I've talked with trainers in the past where they say, okay, they go to a measurement. And I know former players have talked about this as well. Like some of the things that they'll do between Senior Bowl and Combine. If you're a quarterback, if you're a wide receiver, and you're like massaging your fingertips and just trying to like get those things to stretch out, just even if it's an eighth of an inch to try and get that improvement. And then the other thing, look, is that there's going to be some inaccuracies because it's at the end of the day, like, yeah, there could be some human error involved. Well, when it comes to the arm length portion in particular, because there's some subjectivity to like, all right, well, because you're basically asking these guys, stand here with your arms wide spread, and you're trying to find that spot on the edge of the shoulder blade where that measurement's going to start. And that's why there's typically less fluctuation with wingspan than there is with arm length, just because with wingspan, it's literally from tip to tip. Whereas when you're doing the arm length, that is usually going to happen on the inside part of the shoulder blade. And that's, we can start getting nitty gritty there. But yeah, it can get a little messy that way.
So Fran, like we talk about these numbers, right? The hands, the arms, the 40s, all of these things. And I'm getting to a place, and we had this discussion on our show yesterday. We didn't fight. We had a discussion. We had a manly sports discussion. I'm getting to a point where I'm saying, like, one, I truly do believe this, that it's a slow drip, but like pro days and combine stuff is dying, because you're going to start having guys just start saying, what does my tape say? Like, what does my tape say? Does my tape say I'm a left tackle? Is what you saw on tape left tackle worthy? Then it shouldn't matter that my arms are 3/8 shorter than what your old school ways of measuring these things. Or did I separate on film? Did I beat the other guy that was running a 4.2 or 4.3 and I ran a 4.83? Like I think like that's the part that's kind of starting to get to me a little bit, is about, scouts and people who do the draft stuff. They watch hours and hours and thousands of plays, and then a 4-second clip all of a sudden changes what they saw on that film. That I'm just like, I want to trust the overarching 1,000 worth of plays than I do the 4 seconds.
Jesse, I am with you on like the majority of what you just said. I don't think the large majority of what you just said. So
we're fighting now, friend. Let's go.
Here's where the only thing I would say, I don't think that the Combine Pro Day stuff is going to completely go away, because there's only a handful of players where I think that this applies to, right? I think that, Mason Graham can say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to test. I'm not going to do any athletic testing. Marvin Harrison Jr. did that last year. There are a couple players this year. Yeah, we're never going to get a Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan. We're never going to get a 40 time from him, it looks like, right? So I think that there are certain players that feel like that's okay. But for the majority of guys, that's not going to be the case, right? So you're going to have to get measurements, the athletic testing, all of that involved. Now, the difference between what we have here in 2025 versus what we had even in 2015. So you go back 10 years and say like, okay, what's the difference? The difference is before, people would look at the arm length of Will Campbell and say like, oh, like he's not going to be able to do it. Sorry, he's not going to be able to play tackle. He's going to have to slide into guard. Whereas to your point, before, 10 years ago, if he came out in 2015, it would be, oh, you just go to the tape and you just never really see him get beat. But there was nothing like qualitative that you could point to and say like, yeah, like this is it. But the number we talked about last week, with Will Campbell, is that he had a higher percentage of true pass sets than any tackle drafted in the last decade, where he wasn't helped by play action or screens or RPOs, just straight vertical pass sets. He did it more often than anybody. and he never allowed a sack in those situations. In the SEC, as a 3-year starter, going back to his true freshman season as an 18-year-old, going up against the best of the best on a weekly basis in the SEC. So it's like, okay, yeah, like this guy did it for the last 3 years. He is used to playing with short arms, and it has never hurt him. Maybe he does have to move into guard, but we'll let him fail at tackle. Now you have something that you can point to data-wise that we didn't have a decade ago, and that's the big difference between now and then.
Prior to 2 days ago, Fran, Xavier Restrepo at Miami was my wide receiver 6. I was probably higher on him than anyone I know. And then he ran a 4.83. Now he went on Twitter because I think he heard our show yesterday when we fought about it. And he said, I was training running 4.55, 4.58. That's why I was going to run, but I kind of tweaked up a hammy and I couldn't really open up. What do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is that, and I don't know how you felt about it, Jeff, but like, when I watch Xavier Restrepo, I'm like, yeah, he's probably not going to run well, right? Like the shuttles, I think would look good. Like there's all the short area stuff, the change of direction stuff, that all looks good. But when you watch him on tape, I don't see a guy that's going to run away from people with the ball in his hands. I don't see a guy that's going to take the top off of defense. Like that's not his game. So if he was running 4.5s in training, even if he was running like 4.61 in training, it's like, okay, I could see, the 4.8. I mean, it's disastrous because that is something that's going to be stuck on his card. And that is the downside, by the way, to waiting for the pro day to run. If you are not going to run at the combine, now you have only one shot to get it right. And if something happens, if you pull up or if you roll out of bed, the morning of and you're just not feeling 100% and then you run and you don't have your best effort, you don't have another shot at the apple, right? This was it for Xavier Restrepo. So that is the downside to waiting until the 40-yard dash time or until the pro day to run that 40 or to do whatever test that you're hoping to do. That is the downside to it. We're seeing it there with Restrepo.
Well, I can't take you at your word that you were running 4.55s. And I can't right. And so that puts me in a place that if you're going to put up a 4.8, my agent should be fired. Like we know what I'm running in training. And if that's what I'm running, I'll let teams assume I run a 4.68. They're not going to assume I run a 4.83. And now I gave them that number, and so I don't even know.
And see, that's why I tend to believe it because Drew Rosenhaus is a guy who.
Why would you run?
Drew's a seasoned vet.
Right.
Like his agent Drew's been around the block time and time and time again. He knows what it's supposed to look like on pro day. So you're like, if that was the case when Drew went to go check out, and they were like, he's talking to the strength and conditioning coach. And he's training with it. He's like, man, it's 4.8 because where he's been hitting that, right? When we had one good day.
We ain't running.
Then that's why I'm like, well, maybe he was right. Maybe they got to training camp and he's like, you know what? No, he's been running these 4.5s and these 4. And Drew's like, all right, let's go, buddy. It's gonna make us some money, But then he pulled the 4.83 out.
Yeah, and that's why, look, the other piece of data that teams have now that they didn't have, 5-6 years ago is all the GPS stuff, right? And you're having now like a steady database there. So you're going to have those numbers more than likely on Restrepo. You certainly got them from the Senior Bowl as well. And so you've got that to lean on if you want to say like, oh, he plays faster than how he's going to time. My guess is, it depends on the severity of this hammy that Restrepo is dealing with. But my guess is we'll get some kind of video from Drew Rosenhaus, from Xavier Restrepo of him running a 40, and then someone looking at the stopwatch and be like, oh, see, 4.56. We'll get that here in the next couple of weeks.
Fran, you had Tyler Booker a couple weeks ago in your mock. I'm just curious, is that where you're still thinking, or is there a little bit of shakeup with what you think the Cowboys could do at 12?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of go back and forth because at wide receiver, do I think that they could go there? Could Will Johnson be in play? This is a team I find to be very interesting. I've talked about Walter Nolan, potentially to them. He's a guy that because people are all over the board with him. This draft is just going to be we've got a month now. The next 4 weeks are going to be really fun because the information is going to start flowing, right? Because now everybody has been out on the road for all these pro days. We're starting to get to the closing of pro day season. So now all the scouts have been out on the road, which means now they've got more time to be able to catch up with media people like me. So we're going to have all these calls. Oh, what are you hearing? What are you hearing about this player, that player? As that all starts to heat up, you're going to get all the media reports from NFL insiders, from draft media over the course of these next few weeks, and maybe it'll start to crystallize. But I mentioned Walter Nolan. I could see Walter Nolan going as high as number 11. I could see him falling out of the first round entirely, just based off what I'm hearing. Would I say that that's worthy? No, but you're hearing stuff all over the board with a player like that. And so when I'm looking at the Cowboys at 12, Joe, to go back to your question, I think so much is on the board, when you're talking about them, and especially with a team like Dallas that, in the past, like I mentioned this with Tyler Booker, I think the same applies to Tetairoa McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona. The Cowboys are not a team that drafts off athletic profile. That is not a team where they're like, oh yeah, we want the best athletes, and if a guy doesn't test well, it's going to drop him. Contextually compared to the rest of the teams in the league, they have not been afraid to take those risks on those players. So I don't think that they would be eliminated if you're looking at Booker, if you're looking at McMillan.
Fran, you're a beast. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Talk then.
That's Fran Duffy, and I'll just tell you here in a second. How about that? We do have dueling mock drafts. One's incredible, one made me cry, and we'll do that and everything else we haven't hit in today's show yet. Next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. But it's a great time to tell you about signing up to be a diehard because we just had Fran on, and his draft work is absolutely incredible. And if you want access to all those things, you'll have his board, his rankings, position rankings, scouting reports, all those different things. If you're a diehard, you have those things in addition to all the other kick-ass stuff you get for being a diehard. You guys get a carrying card yet? That's all right. We're going to get one. Look, you get a carrying card that our girl Shelby tweeted me to taunt. She got her carrying card because, I want that carrying card. I asked her how much. She said no. I wanted the carrying card. But you get one of those when you sign up to be a diehard. You also get access to our Discord lounge, which is a great place to be. Over 1,000 DFW diehards in that bad boy. What?
Very cool.
So come hang out with other freaks like you who love all your DFW sports teams and have a time. When you sign up, you also get a free T-shirt from our merch store, and our T-shirts are badass. You get one of those. You get 20% off events. You get a discount on the golf tournament. You're going to sign up April 25th. We're having a golf tournament. It's going to be awesome. It's at Stevens Park. I love Stevens Park. I love a good golf course where when you know the rules, you know how to score better. They got this one where I know that I'm going to get the ball down that way, and as far as I got to hit it and as high as you got to hit it, I'm not going to clear the little creek and the big old wall. But I know that the course rule is just sink that sucker in the creek, and you get to drop up top.
That's right.
Bang! Stevens Park's a good course. Play in the golf tournament. You get a discount if you're signed up to be a diehard. You get an ad-free experience on the website when you sign up to be a diehard. You get access to all of the diehard level content on there from Joe and Clarence and people from all of these other sports teams in DFW. I'm thinking about being our wings guy next year once we get Paige buckets.
That's right.
I'm thinking about doing a wings show.
I got a feature coming out tomorrow on Tetairoa McMillan. I went and dove into his volleyball past from his high school and how that's making him a better NFL prospect.
Bruh, if they draft him, he could get on my team.
That's right.
He could get on the squad.
Go check that out.
We'd be badass. Sign up to be a diehard. All right, we got dueling mock drafts. I'd like to shout out Bucky Brooks for doing a mock.
My intrusive thoughts got to me. They almost got to me.
What?
When you talked about your deep dive into Teddy McRowan's this volleyball, I almost screamed something that would have definitely got me in trouble.
I was going to say, cat's on edge just hearing you talk about this.
Definitely got me in trouble. 100% would have got me in trouble.
I'm proud of you, though.
And I literally had to bite the inside of my cheek.
Yeah.
Because it almost blurred.
Let's go ahead.
We'll talk off.
There's no reason to even express that you wanted to. Like, we could have just done the show.
I just had to say that because it was like, I want to say something.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Chill's in the chat talking bad about poor Xavier Restrepo. If he had a real hamstring injury, it would also show up in the short shuttle and change of direction.
That's a great
and
call.
he probably
honestly.
wouldn't have run a second 40. Like, if you know that you can't open up, you just said, "Oh crap, I can't open up."
It got a little tight.
Chill, that's so smart.
He didn't say it was it got a little tight. Shout out to what is my name? Kashmir 44, Union County, baby. Let's go 908.
What's that mean?
That's where I'm from.
Oh,
it's the county, Union County, Essex County, Monmouth County.
Okay.
Shout out Union County, 908, baby.
Shout out to Bucky Brooks, who I don't think works very hard at his mock drafts.
Whoa.
At his mock drafts.
Go heels.
At his mock drafts.
I
feel like you just got to throw stuff out there.
100%.
But he did one. Ready? Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty.
Plausible.
It does sound about like the top
yeah,
six.
that's plausible.
Tyler Warren, tight end.
Plausible.
Jalen Walker. Plausible.
Plausible.
Will Campbell. Plausible.
Plausible.
Omarion Hampton, 10.
Not plausible.
2 running backs in the top 10.
Not plausible.
Jade Barron, 11.
Wait a second now.
No,
but wait a second. Wait.
This is not Gibbs and...
Hold on. Here we go.
This is not Bijan and Gibbs.
Wait.
This is not Bijan and Gibbs.
Wait. One other hand.
Wait.
Yep, there you go.
Go back. Go back.
No.
Go back.
A little bit higher now.
Not the same prospects.
Go back to the Bears. Go to the Bears.
A little bit higher now.
Go to the Bears. Who had the Bears taken?
Omarion Hampton.
Omarion Hampton went to school where?
I know Ben Johnson, North Carolina.
There's a connection. Ben Johnson, North Carolina.
Well, I don't think they're bringing in Ryan Switzer either.
They should.
Maybe.
Just because you went to North Carolina.
But they want
Has he
to
called
keep
you?
It. Who?
Ben Johnson.
No, I can't play.
North Carolina.
I can't play.
Oh.
But I'm just saying that's not far-fetched when you're talking about he is doing a lot of what his blueprint is what happened in Detroit. Is I want to bring in another back like that. So,
but wait, where did Bucky Brooks go to college?
North Carolina.
So, maybe he's in the know.
He is.
Maybe he's been talking.
Maybe.
Is he in a group chat? A signal?
I'll let you look in a little bit.
I'll be happy.
I'll let you look in a little bit.
I'll be happy if no running backs are picked before the Cowboys pick, because I'd love to have Ashton Jeanty on the team. But if you're going to have a running back pick before the Cowboys pick, I'd love if there was 2 picked. Push more players down, and don't let this team be tempted to take the second
TreVeyon
running
Henderson
back. No, we're
at
not
12.
taking TreVeyon Henderson at 12. Bucky gave us Armand Membo. Boo.
Membo.
Armand Membo. Boo. He's a Missouri right tackle, and everybody loves him. I actually don't love his tape as much as it seems like every other draft analyst does.
Neither do I.
I do support the Cowboys trying to strengthen offensive line. I support a Trench's pick, but I would have preferred one of the 2 guys that went right after that for Bucky, Kelvin Banks, the Texas left tackle, and Tyler Booker, the Alabama right guard, went with the next 2 picks. But whatever, that was Bucky. Who cares? Everybody should care. He's a nice guy. He works hard. But I have no idea how hard Chad Ruderreiter works. No idea.
Yeah.
But I saw the 4-round mock draft. This is stuff dreams are made of.
Sounds
Sing it, Hillary Duff.
This is stuff dreams are made of.
Hey, now.
You're an all-star? Get your
No,
game?
different one. That works, though, too.
He did a 4-round mock draft. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty. Same 6 names. Jackson Dart. Jalen Walker, Will Johnson, Armand Membo, Will Campbell. 12, Tyler Warren, Penn State.
To the Cowboys?
But not to the Cowboys.
Oh.
Broncos wanted him. Help out Bo Nix.
They just got Evan Ingram, though.
Bo Nix ain't country enough for me.
What do you mean? He's from Alabama.
Does he? He didn't. I swear I heard him talking. He didn't sound country enough.
He's from Alabama.
He's from country Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to go listen to him talk. Cause I swear I just looked at him. I was like, he don't look country enough.
Now he may not look.
Because when I heard his
more
name
California.
the first time in college football and he was at Auburn, I was like, Bo Nix. I was like, that is so country.
Yeah.
And then maybe I just saw his face and I was like, he's not country enough for Bo Nix. Tyler Warren, but it's the Broncos who came calling.
Okay.
And you got to trade down and you got their 2nd round pick for it.
I'm not going to lie. You think about Tyler Warren, Evan Ingram working your middle.
Yeah, it's a 2 tight ends.
Then you got Sutton on the outside.
Yeah.
And you have
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix at the quarterback.
Bo Nix back there.
You got Marvin Mims out there, a little slot receiver as well.
Sean might be cooking something up out there in Denver.
Bacon grease.
Sean might be cooking something up out there. He moves up and he gets Tyler Warren. That passing core. That passing core we might look back and Bo Nix might be a guy 5,000 yards passing, 6,000 yards.
You talking
passing.
about Bo Nix?
Bo.
Where do you go to college?
Lots of places.
No, just 2.
Oh, just 2? Auburn and Oregon?
Yeah, that's right. Go Ducks.
Bo Nix. Kelvin Banks, 13, Texas left tackle. Colston Loveland, 14.
Wow.
The Michigan tight end.
2 tight ends, top 14 picks.
Jihad Campbell, Bama linebacker, 15. Jahdae Barron at 16, Texas corner. Michael Williams, Georgia pass rusher at 17. Tetaroa McMillan at 18 to the Seahawks. Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M Aggies to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And at number 20, the Cowboys are on the clock.
Look at that smile.
Yeah,
Look at that smile.
Originally, he was mine, but Jesse has taken him.
He was yours originally?
Oh, he started mine. I mean, the first time I watched him on tape, like a month ago, he was mine. But you have taken it to I can't claim it's mine. He's yours.
Thank you.
He's yours. He's
mine
yours.
Now. It's mine now.
Emeka Ibuka.
Let's go.
Ohio State wide receiver.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect for Dak. It would be perfect for Dak. It would be perfect for Dak.
Jeff say Bo Nix. Bo. Sean, you just talk to people that run the wrong route. And you're like, where Bo needed you, and you weren't where Bo needed you.
Bo knows.
That's right.
You don't know Bo.
And then Hampton goes 21 to the Steelers. where they can run him behind an iffy offensive line for 3.9 yards per carry for 3 or 4 years, and then he can go somewhere else and see if he can be good. And then we cruise on because in this mock draft, you got to do the second round if you've traded down and you got their 2 for it.
Oh, yeah.
They gave up their second round pick to go get a tight end.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
They also got a 5th rounder, though.
Second round, we go cruising down to the Cowboys pick, their original selection, TreVeyon Henderson. Ohio State.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic. 2 Ohio State guys.
I can take.
Where's Brian Schottenheimer today?
Where's Brian? He's at Ohio State's Pro Day.
That's
He's
right.
watching TreVeyon Henderson right now. I'll tell you, my favorite thing about TreVeyon Henderson, and it better be my favorite. It's not my favorite, actually. I take that back immediately because I don't care that much about this at all. But I think it's admirable, I'll say. Like, he can run the ball. He can make big plays. He's got speed, acceleration, quickness. He's got all those things. He can catch the ball, make big plays in the pass game, and that's great. What's his weight? 205, give or take? Like, he's not a giant guy. That dude will light your ass up in pass pro.
No,
he
pass pro.
looks bigger than, I guess, whatever he weighs. He
Okay.
looks like
Yeah,
he's like a 225.
he's got a weird.
Like, he might be
he's
like
got a different
208.
build. Yeah, he's like wide. It's kind of interesting.
But he's one of those that we talked about yesterday. Tackling and pass protection. When you see all these running backs that are 220 pounds, it's like, yeah, but his pass protection's iffy. It's because he doesn't try or want to or work at it. TreVeyon Henderson is not a big back, and he will protect your quarterback.
He has
he
the
will
want
light
to.
you up.
I saw a screenshot today of Derek Harmon, who's might be a first-round pick defensive tackle in this draft, coming free, right down the
I
middle.
bet TreVeyon stepped on that track.
TreVeyon put his face mask right in his chest.
He don't care.
He does not care.
He don't care.
From Hopewell, Virginia.
Yep.
Good country boy. He country, too.
Oh.
Country.
Put him with Bo.
You hope the Cowboys get him.
Hopewell.
Well,
Okay.
Hopewell.
Okay. All right.
The extra pick you get.
Able to make Dallas the city of lovers?
Yeah. City. Virginia. Yeah, Virginia. Virginia is for lovers, and it's for Hopewell native TreVeyon Henderson.
The extra pick that you got in the second round because you traded down and
I
picked
love this.
Emeka Ibuka
I love this.
is University of Texas defensive tackle Alfred Collins, 330 pounds of I will stop your run. Oh, that's
I
a
like
girthy
this,
man.
I think that's what they need to get out of this draft is they need to get an Alfred Collins.
If they
type
do
guy.
that, I am excited.
I wouldn't care about the rest of the draft. I don't care. I would say you
would
crushed
be-
that draft.
You would, yes.
Yeah.
You want to sell me hopium?
Yeah.
Do that.
Get me a real-life nose tackle,
Do that.
a real-life RB1, and you got to add the nose tackle was free because you moved down to pick a guy that you could pick at 12. Like, whoever gets picked at 12 might end up having a worse NFL career than Emeka Ibuka.
Those are 3 potential starters.
No, those are
Right
three
away.
starters.
Right away.
You know they wouldn't start him in front of Mozzie at first. They'd put Mozzie out there, damn well.
If you smart.
And they'd sign Zeke, start him at running back.
No.
And then TreVeyon
No.
could back up Javonte
No.
and Miles.
And then Ibuka is going to back up Mingo?
I think Ibuka's backing up Turpin. Yeah. No, that would be amazing. And I have to go home and watch the Ohio State Center because that's who he had him taking the third, and I don't know. I haven't seen him yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, actually.
But if you do those in the first 2 rounds, those 3 picks in the first 2 rounds, I'm with you. I don't even damn what happens in the rest of the draft.
I'm dancing.
That would make your football team
I'm dancing.
so much better.
You know how at 330 pounds, the body doesn't always look great?
Unless you're Tyron Smith, though.
Alfred Collins is a good 330.
Yeah. He's that Tyron Smith 330?
Most of the
Did you-
nose tackles is kind of, it's
Yeah.
about 28 of it is right here around the belly button. His is just well proportioned, thick man.
Who do you like better, Alfred Collins or Tyreek Williams from Ohio
Ah, it's a push.
Because I love.
You're not allowed to have a push. Hold on, let me check
I
my
love.
rankings.
I think Tyreek. I like him better.
Technically, I have Williams ahead of Collins.
So what?
Technically,
So the funny thing about this, and it better be funny.
it better be hilarious.
They could do just an Ohio State draft with their first 3 picks, and it would be fun.
There's a lot of schools I could do that. You could do
Texas,
that with.
you could do it
do
with.
Texas easily. You could do Ohio State easily.
Oregon, you could do rounds 2 through 5.
Yeah, 12
12
is the
a
hard
tough
part.
one. 12 is a tough one.
Take Dylan Gabriel at 12.
Do it.
Take Tez Johnson at 12,
I love Tez.
and then you could cook that way. No,
Little justice for Tez Johnson, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, he's so slow with his 40 at the combine. He ran like a 4.5, right?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
it's not how he wins.
That's not
the
how he
thing.
wins.
When people talk about a guy's whatever, I'm like, right, but Tez Johnson is like a 150-pound receiver at Oregon.
Yeah, he a little bitty thing.
And it's like, but his thing was never Tez Johnson runs by you. His thing was you could not stay in front of him. and it's still true. What?
Clarence, thank you. I appreciate you.
What?
Next time, do it as a super chat.
What is this?
I'm just kidding.
What is this?
How did you take this take with Tez,
He's 4'5".
and then you take the other take? You just said
That's 4'8".
but you just said his thing is not X, Y, and Z.
I still want Restrepo on my team.
You just said Tez. Oh yeah, Tez. Yeah,
I moved Tez down too.
he's not this, he's not that. I'm just saying. All right.
I want Restrepo on my team. I just can't do it as high as I thought I could because now he's
4'8", 4'5", and 4'8" are different.
Jesse and I are going to fight. We'll see y'all tomorrow. See which one of us looks more banged up when we go live tomorrow. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going. Everybody, we love you, amazing.
I know their contingencies.
That hurts.
We all silly like the mayor.